Lisa. I usually teach at Queen's University. You might have been in one of my classes. Today I'm teaching from Spain, where I am currently staying due to the coronavirus situation, but I will be back very, very soon, and I hope to be teaching again face-to-face in Queen's sport very soon. So today's class is going to be a Vinyasa class. Vinyasa means that we coordinate the breath with the movement. That's it. It's going to be a class to develop not only flexibility, but also mobility, coordination of the body, and strength. And we will do this giving particular attention to the breath, of course. So you can do this class if you are a beginner. You can do this class if you are not flexible, especially if you are not flexible, but do what you can and just enjoy it. I'm going to give you plenty of modifications when modifications are needed, and we are going to start very, very soon. I'm just waiting for a few extra people to get online, as it's just... Yes, it's just 8, so people usually start coming online in a few minutes. Actually, I'm going to stand up for a moment and check how many people we have. Okay, lovely. Lovely. I think we can start. So we're starting just on the mat, of course. We're going to go on the knees. We're going to point the toes and sit on the heels. So here, I'm just sitting on the heels. Actually, I'm going to remove my vest so you can see better what's happening with my back, hopefully. And I hope you can hear me today, as last week I had problems with the sound. So here, we're just sitting on the heels. If this is an uncomfortable position for you, of course, after a while, you can just do the same as I am doing. We're going to work on the shoulders first, just here. But for now, let's say that you're sitting down and we're going to just breathe in and out. So you can bring your hands on your quads, on your legs, just rest them there. Then bring awareness on your shoulders. I want you to try and relax the shoulders. You can roll them up, back, and down. Just there, and then relax. You can move them a little bit. From here, bring your awareness on your belly. Suck the lower belly in. So here we are not overarching the lower back, but we are trying to keep the core all engaged. Have a slight tuck of the chin. If you want, you can close your eyes. Breathe in. As you breathe out, draw the navel in. As you breathe in, keep the navel towards the spine. And as you breathe out, draw the navel in again. Inhale, keep the belly engaged. Exhale, draw the navel in. Inhale again, keep the navel engaged. Exhale, draw the navel in. So here, try to keep this engagement active. Clasp your hands behind. This is when, if you are starting to be a little bit uncomfortable, you can lift up like this, keeping that core engaged. I'm going to sit down, but again, you can stay up. So from here, all we are going to do is this. As we inhale, suck the lower belly in always. We're going to roll the shoulders back and lift the sternum up, maybe looking up. Try not to overarch the lower back. As we exhale, we roll the shoulders forward, back to where we started. So again, roll the shoulders back and down, lift the navel up, suck the lower belly in. Exhale, bring the shoulders where we started. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, look up, suck the lower belly in. Exhale, bring yourself back to center. Again, inhale, roll the shoulders back and down, look up, suck the lower belly in. Exhale, bring yourself back to center. And again, last time, inhale, roll the shoulders back and down, look up. Exhale, bring yourself back to center. So if you are standing, sit on your heels once again. We're going to fold forward, bringing the chest to the thighs, maybe the forehead to the floor. You're still clasping your hands. Take one inhale, roll the shoulders back and down. Once again, draw back through the hands. As exhale, lift the hands up. We're just going to stay here. You can explore the movement here, moving the hands a little bit, more forward, more back. Just, noticing how your shoulders respond. You can also rock side to side with your pelvis a little bit. If you feel any discomfort in your neck, see if you want to move a little bit your head, maybe tucking the chin a little bit more, or maybe the opposite movement. Keep your hands pulling up towards the ceiling just for another breath, and then slowly bring the hands back down towards your pelvis. Release your hands. Use your hands on the floor at the side of your chest to come up. Tuck your toes under and sit on the heels. Suck the lower belly in. From here, we are just going to lift up, push the pelvis forward, really engage here, and then point your toes and sit back on your heels. Inhale, lift up, tuck the tailbone under, tuck your toes under, and then sit down. Inhale, lift, tuck the tailbone under, point your toes, and come down to sit on your heels. Everything here is engaged. Lift up, tuck your toes under, sit down. On the heels, once again. Everything here in the core is engaged. Lift up, tuck the tailbone under, point your toes, sit down. Last time, lift up, tuck the tailbone under, engage everything, tuck your toes under, sit down. Everything is controlled. Inhale, lift up, tuck the tailbone under, point your toes, and sit down on the heels. Once again. From here, we're just going to reach a four-legged position. Your hands are underneath the shoulders. You're spreading the fingers wide with the index fingers pointing forward. Your knees are underneath your hips. So here, the inside of your elbow is pointing forward, or you're trying to make it point forward. Your elbow is pointing back. All we are doing here is first activate the core, so suck the lower belly in. All here is engaged. Then we're just going to rotate the elbows. I want the elbows to move. I'm rotating the elbows. The elbows are pointing out. Keep the elbows straight. And then they're pointing towards the legs. Again, elbows pointing out, elbows pointing back. Out again, and back again. Out again, and back. Out, back, out, and back. Suck the lower belly in once again, if you forgot. And then start making circles with your shoulders. We're just going to prepare the wrists here a little bit, as we are going to be on the hands quite a lot today. Keep sucking the lower belly in. Remember, we're not overarching the lower back here. Then rotate all the way down, around. So we do both sides. Just a few more. Suck the lower belly in, don't forget. If you forget, I will remind you all the times. Okay, and from here, we're making a fist with both hands to start. I might start so you can see better what's happening with my hands. Here, I'm aiming to keep the elbows straight as I mindfully open one hand and press the back of my hand against the floor. Gently do what you can. Then make a fist again. Then swap. Gently push the back of your hand towards the floor. Make a fist. Other hand. Gently push the back of your hand towards the floor. Make a fist. And again, other hand. Gently push the back of your hand toward the floor. Make a fist. And then tuck your toes under, sit on your heels once again, clasp your hands, rotate your wrists one way, and then the other way. And then from here, we're just going to go back into a four-legged position. Remember the alignment here. Your knees underneath the pelvis, underneath the hips, the arms underneath the shoulders. The fingers are spreading wide with the index fingers pointing forward. Cat and cow here. We're using the exhale to push the floor away, tucking the tailbone under, lifting the navel away from the floor, pushing so that your shoulders, between the shoulders, you create a space. Look towards your neck. As inhale, opposite motion. We're drawing the navel down towards the floor. We're lifting the sitting bones up. Pinching motion now between the shoulder blades, looking up. Elbows are straight. Exhale, push the floor away. Tuck the tailbone under. Suck the lower belly in. Lift the navel away from the floor, looking down between your legs. Inhale, start drawing the navel down towards the floor, pinching motion between the shoulder blades, lift the sitting bones up, looking up. Exhale, push the floor away, suck the lower belly, tuck the tailbone under, feel the space between the shoulder blades, look down between your legs. Inhale, once again, draw the navel down towards the floor, tilt your sitting bones up, pinching motion between the shoulder blades, elbows are straight. Exhale once again, tuck the tailbone under, lift the navel away from the floor, push the floor away, feel the space between the shoulder blades, looking up. As inhale, come back to a neutral position. From here, we're going to start moving a little bit more. First of all, push the floor away, tuck the tailbone under, almost as we were doing a cat pose, like we were before. Shift forward, push the floor away, suck the lower belly in. From here, I want you to bend your elbows and bring the chin and the chest, if you can, into the floor. Tilt the sitting bones up. As exhale, push back through the hands and bring yourself into a child pose. Use one inhale to lift into a four-legged position. Exhale, shift forward, push the floor away, suck the lower belly in. Bend the elbows, bring the chin onto the floor. Maybe you're inhaling here. As you exhale again, bring yourself into child pose. As you inhale again, lift up, forward-legged position, push the floor away. Bring your chest forward, bend your elbows, chin to the floor, tilt the sitting bones up. As you exhale again, bring yourself nice and slowly into a child pose. Again, as you inhale, bring yourself up into a four-legged position. Push the floor away, shift forward, lower down. As you exhale, suck the lower belly and chin onto the floor. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, start to go down back into a child pose. And we are stopping here for a few breaths. Keep the forehead onto the floor. Arms are straight, palms are onto the floor. Check that your hands are shoulder wide apart. And then bring your forehead down onto the floor once again. Lift the elbows away from the floor if they are resting onto the floor. Then start pulling your hands away from your head until you feel a stretch on your lats and on the top of your shoulders. We're just stretching here for a moment before we lift up again. Breathe nice and deeply. Just a few extra breaths. Keep pulling your hands forward, stretching those shoulders. And then finally relax. So maybe bring the elbows onto the floor. Use the inhale to come up into a four-legged position once again. From here, we're going to take a downward facing dog. We're going to take it in stages too. So if you are unsure about your down dog, this is usually this tells you the right position of your down dog. So first of all, your hands must be underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers wide, and again, your index fingers pointing forward. This is important. Then we're going to go into a plank pose, straightening both legs. Here again, you want to be strong. You want to push the floor away, tuck the tailbone under, suck the lower belly in, as we did before. Your feet are hip wide apart. Look towards your feet, bring them hip wide apart. Then from here, we're going to take downward facing dog. You can bend your knees slightly, push back through the hands, lift your sitting bones up, and here we are in downward facing dog. Keep your knees slightly bent. My hands are sliding forward. Push back through the hands. Here you want to tilt the sitting bones up and bring the chest towards your thighs. Keep the knees bent here. We're going to concentrate a little bit on the back. Okay, so here, the sense of not being in a down dog with straight legs is to allow everyone to have a nice down dog. So if some people are here, definitely bending the knees, pushing the floor back through the hands. Maybe you can walk your hands back, especially if you're sliding on a mat like me. And then you're going to bring the chest towards the thighs. Knees are bent. If you tilt the sitting bones up, so those two bones that come out underneath your glutes, tilt them up towards the ceiling. That will give you that sensation of lengthening the hamstrings. From here, bend the right knee even more, pushing the toes against the floor. And gently start straightening the left knee. So the left leg is straight or almost straight. We're going to stay here 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Bend both knees once again. Then bend the left knee even more. Push the toes against the floor. Straighten the right leg. 5 breaths. 3 breaths, sorry. 2, 3. Bend both knees. Bring the knees down to the floor. Point your toes. Bring your pelvis towards your heels. Bring your forehead onto the floor. Relax here. Here, allow your elbows to rest onto the floor. We're just resting for a few moments. You can rock side to side a little bit to ease your child pose. Don't worry if your bum doesn't touch your heels, so that will come. Wherever you are, it's fine. We're just resting here, allowing the body to recover for a moment before we keep going. So we will increase in intensity a little bit in a while, but do what you can once again. So get ready to use one inhale to come up into a four-legged position. We're going to take a plank pose once again and then down dog. And then from there, I'll explain everything. Suck the lower belly in first. Make sure you're not overarching the lower back. Push the floor away. Straighten one leg, then the other, and you are in a plank pose. Check that your feet are hip wide apart. Tuck the tail around. Push the floor away. Bend the knees slightly. As you push the floor with your hands, push back and get into your down dog. From here, your knees can be still bent. Or maybe you're already that flexible, you can straighten your legs. That's fine. Keep the knees bent anyway if you want, and you're fine. From here, bring the weight to your hands. Again, suck the lower belly in. We're going to go back into plank. From plank, we're going to bring the knees onto the floor. We're going to shift the shoulders forward as we did before. Remember, bend your elbows, bring the chin down onto the floor. Tilt the sitting bones up for a moment. Then point your toes and bring yourself down completely onto the floor. Your hands are now underneath the shoulders. We're going to move the elbows underneath the shoulders. So here, make sure, look down, look at your shoulders, look at your elbows. Make sure the elbows are underneath the shoulders. Palms are onto the floor. You're spreading the fingers wide and you're kind of pressing the palms against the floor. Tuck the tailbone under here. Your feet are hip wide apart. From here, we're just pushing the floor away. As we inhale, lifting the sternum up, tuck the tailbone. As we exhale, we're going to fold forward, bring the forehead towards the floor. Inhale, push the floor away, lift the sternum up, tuck the tailbone under, look up. Exhale, bring the forehead towards the floor, nice and gentle. Inhale, push the floor away through the elbows. Look up, tuck the tailbone under. Exhale, bring the forehead towards the floor. Inhale, push the floor away. One last time. Exhale, slowly bring the forehead towards the floor. Now allow your elbows to open to the side, bring the forehead onto the floor, and then bring your palms underneath the shoulders, where they were before. First, draw the elbows towards one another, roll the shoulders back and down. I want you to feel the lats, the muscles here at the side of your rib cage engaging as you draw the elbows towards one another and roll the shoulders back and down. Point your toes if they aren't already. Make sure your feet are hip wide apart. Then, as you inhale, lift the head up first, push the floor away, up in upward facing dog. In up dog, make sure your hands are underneath the shoulders. Your knees may be onto the floor, tuck the tailbone under, or you can lift the knees away from the floor, pushing the floor away through the front of the feet. From here, if your knees are away from the floor, bring the knees back onto the floor. As exhale, bring yourself into a child pose just for a moment. Just stretch here after the upward facing dog, a back bend. Maybe rock side to side. And finally use the inhale to come up into a four-legged position. Remember the alignment, hands and knees here first. Then push the floor away, tuck the tailbone under, bring yourself into plank. Tuck the tailbone under, suck the lower belly in. Push the floor away through the hands. Make sure your toes are tucked and then bring yourself into down dog. Bend knees, again if you wish. You're staying here for 5 breaths. Relax your neck, keep pushing back to the hands. Tilt the sitting bones up. 1, suck the lower belly in. 2, keep pushing back to the hands. 3, keep the knees bent, tilt the sitting bones up. 4, draw the heels towards the floor even if your knees are bent. 5, look between the hands. This time we're going to walk the feet forward between the hands. And we're going to bring feet hip wide apart. Feet are also pointing forward. Move the weight towards the front of the feet. Keep the knees bent. Draw the lower ribs towards your thighs. From here, you can hug your elbows, relax the neck, and relax here for a moment. Your knees are bent, so you don't need to be suffering here. Bring the weight towards the front of the feet. If that is scary, having you holding your elbows, bring the fingertips onto the floor. From here, we can just play a little bit with this. You can shake a little bit. You can lengthen the spine a little bit, lifting the chest away from the thighs. And then you can bring the chest towards the thighs once again. Maybe you're fine here, relaxing your neck. Maybe you want to experiment a little bit more. So again, weight at the front of the feet. Maybe you can catch the back of your legs. Try to wrap your legs, the lower part of your legs, with your forearms. Lengthen the spine once again. As exhale, pull your chest towards your thighs. Bring the weight towards the front of the feet a little bit more. Relax your neck. We're going to stay wherever you are now for 5 extra breaths. 1, make sure your chest is glued to the thighs. 2, lengthen the spine. 3, tilt the sitting bones up. See what happens in your hamstrings. 4, keep your chest to the thighs. Weight at the front of the feet. 5, bend the knees a little bit more. Bring your fingertips onto the floor if they weren't already there. And inhale, lengthen the spine, lifting the chest away from the thighs. Exhale, fold forward once again, chest to thighs. Then as you inhale, come all the way up. And we should be towards the front of the mat, standing in mountain pose. Feet hip wide apart here. So from here, we're going to start with a little bit of a flow. Make sure the feet are hip wide apart, and you can check that by pivoting one of your feet and checking that the heel touches the other foot. Then bring the feet back, and that is your hip wide apart, so it's not that wide, okay? It's quite small actually. From here, we're going to do a little bit of a flow. So first of all, I want you to bring awareness again on your core. Suck the lower belly in, slightly tuck the tailbone under, not too much. We want to keep a natural curve. So I better like when I think about drawing the lower ribs towards the pelvis, towards the hips, okay? So that even if I lift the sternum up, I still have these to counterbalance and I'm not overarching the lower back. Squeeze your quads, lift the kneecaps up, relax your shoulders away from the neck. From here, you can either follow me or watch the first. We're going to use the exhale to clasp the hands behind our back. Then we're going to use the inhale to do what we did before. Roll the shoulders back and down, lifting the sternum up, suck the lower belly, no overarching. As exhale, fold forward, bringing the chest to the thighs, as we did before, and lifting the hands away from the back. Again, as we did before, relax your neck. From here, as you inhale, start bringing your hands down towards the floor, release your hands, lift the sternum up, keep the knees bent, engage your bum, chair pose. Then as you exhale, back into mountain pose, suck the lower belly in. So again, let's do this a little bit more of in a flow of breath. So take one inhale. Exhale, clasp your arms behind. Inhale, lift the sternum up, suck the lower belly. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the chest to the thighs, lifting the hands up, away from your back. Inhale, bring the hands towards the floor, chair pose, all in one inhale. Exhale, fold forward, keep the knees bent, bring the fingertips onto the floor. Then inhale, come all the way up into mountain pose. Arms along the body as we exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, clasp your arms behind. Inhale, lift the sternum up, suck the lower belly in. Exhale, bend the knees, lift the arms up away from your lower back. When you start inhaling, start to lift the sternum up. Bring the arms up into chair pose, suck the lower belly in. Exhale, fold forward, the fingertips onto the floor. Inhale, come all the way up, lift the arms up. Exhale, Samasthiti, arms along the body. Suck the lower belly in. Exhale, once again, lift the sternum up. Exhale, fold forward, hinge from the hips, chest to the thighs, hands away from your lower back. Inhale, lift the sternum up, release your hands, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward, bringing the fingertips to the floor, keep the knees bent, chest to the thighs. Inhale again, come all the way up, lift both arms up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Take one inhale, last time. Exhale, clasp your hands behind. Inhale, lift the sternum up, suck the lower belly in. Exhale, fold forward, hinge from the hips, chest to the thighs, arms away from your back. Inhale, keep the knees bent, release your hands, take your chair pose, squeeze your back. Exhale, fold forward, fingertips onto the floor. Inhale, as you come up once again, lift both arms up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Good. From here, we're just doing another flow, a classical sun salutation. So you can watch the first or you can just follow me. I'm sure it's going to be fun if you follow me, even if it's not perfect, then the second and the third are going to be better. So from here, I might modify it slightly, actually. So lift both arms up, press the palms together, look up, suck the lower belly. As exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips, bending the knees, bring the fingertips onto the floor. Inhale, lengthen the spine, chest away from your thighs. As you exhale, bend the knees as much as you need to press the palms onto the floor. Step your right foot back. Bring the knee onto the floor. Point your right toes. As inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring the left foot back into plank. As we did before, bring the knees onto the floor. Shift forward, bring the chest and chin onto the floor. Point your toes here. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, step the right foot again between the hands. Bring the left knee down onto the floor, point your toes. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lifting the sternum up. As exhale, bring your left knee, foot forward, feet hip wide apart. Inhale, long spine, flat back. Exhale, draw the chest to the thumbs. Inhale, come all the way up, press the palms together, look up. Exhale, Samsthiti hip. Inhale, lift both arms up, feet are still, hip wide apart, suck the lower belly in. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips, bend the knees if you need, fingertips onto the floor. Inhale, long spine, flat back. Exhale, bend the knees, press the palms onto the floor, step the left foot back, point your toes, bring the knees onto the floor. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, press the palms onto the floor, tuck your left toes under, bring yourself into plank. Bring the knees to the floor. Shift forward, bend the elbows lower down as you exhale, chin onto the floor. Tilt the sitting bones up, point your toes, inhale, upward facing up. Tuck your toes under, exhale, downward facing dog. Step the left foot between the hands. Bring the right knee onto the floor, point your toes. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, chest to the thumbs. Inhale, come all the way up. Press the palms together, look up. Suck the lower belly in. Exhale, Samsthiti hip. Again, take one inhale. Lift both arms up. Press the palms together, look up. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees if you need, fingertips onto the floor. Inhale, long spine, flat back. As exhale, bend the knees even more. Press the palms onto the floor, step the right foot back. Bring the knee onto the floor, point your toes. As inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step the left foot back, get into a plank, push the floor away, bring the knees onto the floor. As exhale, bring the chin to the floor. Point your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tuck your toes under. Downward facing dog. As inhale, step the right foot forward. Bring the left knee down to the floor. Point your toes. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring the left foot forward again. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, chest to the thumbs. Inhale, come up, press the palms together, look up. Exhale, Samsthiti hip. Suck the lower belly. Last time, inhale, lift both arms up. Press the palms together. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees, bring the fingertips onto the floor. Inhale, long spine, flat back. Exhale, bend the knees if you need, palms onto the floor. Step the left foot back, bring the knee onto the floor. Point your toes. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, press the palms onto the floor, touch the toes under, get into your plank. Bring the knees to the floor. Exhale, chest to the floor, tilt the sitting bones up. Point your toes, inhale, upward facing dog. Tuck your toes under, exhale, down, down. As inhale, step the left foot forward, bring the right knee onto the floor, point your toes. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring the right foot forward, feet equal apart, lengthen the spine. Exhale, draw the chest to the thighs. Inhale, come all the way up. Press the palms together, look up. Exhale, stand seated. Lovely, stop. We did a little bit of movement, a little bit of a flow. Don't worry about the breath, that will come on time. You did great, I'm sure, but as the longer you practice, the more you learn how to actually coordinate the breath with the movement. As a general rule, when you are folding forward, entering into a pose, you are exhaling. When we are lifting up, exiting from a pose, you are inhaling. So that is a general rule. Doesn't always apply, but most of the time that's how it is. So, from here you're standing at the front of the mat. Your feet are together, your toes are touching now. Your hips can be either touching or slightly apart. We're just going to do a little bit of a triangle flow. So from here, you're going to step the left foot back towards the back of the mat. Then here, I want you to find a distance between the feet that is about the length of one of your legs. So you check your leg, more or less, and you should be creating a kind of a, I don't know in English, in Italian is equilatero, that all the sides of the triangle have the same length. Anyway, then you are finding an alignment here to arch with the back foot pointing 45 degrees in. The front foot, the right foot is pointing forward, okay? And here we want very strong legs. So we want to squeeze the quads. We want to suck the lower belly in. Then we're going to lift both arms up. And as we exhale, we want to reach forward. As you can see, I'm not moving my pelvis here, but I'm allowing the bone to get into the hip socket, the bone of my leg. Then reach, reach, reach. Bring the right hand on the shin. Look down for a moment. I want you to align that right shoulder with your right leg. So if you find that your shoulder is forward, then come up, align yourself and stay there. Wherever you are is fine, okay? Then stack the left shoulder on top of the right. Look up, if you can, towards your left arm or look just in front of you as I'm doing now. 5 breaths. 1, remember your legs, squeeze your quads. 2, suck the lower belly in. 3, lengthen the spine. 4, 5, lovely. As you exhale, bring the left hand down. We're going to bring the left hand down towards the floor, bending the front knee, okay? Start bending the front knee. Bring the fingertips onto the floor. The right hand on the right side of the foot and the left hand on the left side of the foot. Then we're going to lift the left heel away from the floor. We're going to move the right foot slightly out towards the right side of your mat. And then we're going to bring the left foot again onto the floor. Here, we want to square the hips. So before, we weren't worrying about the hips. Now we are. I want you to keep here, fingertips onto the floor, front knee nice and bent. You are going to draw the right hip back and the left hip forward. Imagine those hips nice and aligned to the front of your mat. From here, lengthen the spine, lifting the sternum up. As exhale, mindfully, see if you can straighten the front knee a little bit, maybe all of it, maybe just a little bit. Then as inhale, bend the front knee once again. Use the exhale to straighten that knee, draw the right foot back, heel back as you do this. Then exhale, bend the front knee a little bit more. Inhale, Use the exhale again to straighten the front knee, lengthen the spine once again. And inhale, bend the knees again. Exhale, straighten the front knee. Do what you can. Maybe your front knee is slightly bent, that's okay. The important thing is you are drawing the right hip back and the left hip forward. Keep the left fingertips or palm onto the floor. It doesn't matter if your front knee is still bent. Lengthen the spine first. As exhale, push the left hand against the floor to lift the left shoulder away from the floor. See if you can lift the right arm up. Draw the right hip back. If the front knee is bent, it's okay. 1, draw the right hip back. 2, lengthen the spine. 3, 4, 5. Exhale, bring the right hand again onto the floor, bend the front knee. Now bring both your palms onto the floor. Again, either side of your right foot. Lift the left heel away from the floor. Push the floor away through the hands as you step the right foot back into plank. Push the floor away, feel the space between the shoulder blades first, suck the lower belly in, bring the knees onto the floor, shift your shoulders forward, bend your elbows, bring the chin and chest onto the floor. Point your toes, inhale, upward facing dog, tuck your toes under, exhale, downward facing dog. Let's stay in down dog for a few moments. Make sure your hands are shoulder wide apart and your feet are hip wide apart. Your knees can be slightly bent still. You're tilting the sitting bones up. Push back through the hands. 2 more breaths. 1. Suck the lower belly in. And 2. Look between the hands and either step or walk your feet between the hands. Feet together, toes touch. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring the chest to the thighs, knees can be bent. Inhale, slowly come up, suck the lower belly in, press the palms together, look up. Exhale, Samasthiti. You should be standing again towards the top of the mat. If you aren't, just walk forward slightly. Your feet are together, your toes are touched. You're sucking the lower belly in, everything is engaged. We are going to do everything on the left side. So first of all, you're going to step the right foot towards the back of your mat. Again, distance between the feet about the length of one of your legs. Alignment heel to arch. Left foot is pointing forward. Right foot is pointing 45 degrees in. Squeeze your legs. Suck the lower belly in. Pelvis is even. Lift both arms up. As exhale, reach forward. Reach. Feel the bone of your leg getting into the hip. Bring the left hand on the shin. Again, look down first. Make sure your left shoulder is aligned to your left leg. If it isn't, lift up a little bit and align. Then lift the right shoulder up, suck the shoulders on top of one another. Look up to the right arm. 1, suck the lower belly. 2, squeeze your legs, squeeze your bum. 3, lift the kneecaps up. 4, 5, exhale, bring the right hand down towards the floor, bend the front knee, bring the fingertips onto the floor, left hand to the left of the foot, right hand to the right of the foot. Lift the right heel away from the floor for a moment. Walk your left foot towards the left side of your mat, just a little bit. So ideally, your feet, if you look down, imagine 2 parallel lines just underneath your pelvis, hip wide apart. So the left foot is in the left line and the right foot is in the right. Then bring the right heel down to the floor so that the foot is pointing 45 degrees in. The left knee is still bent, the fingertips onto the floor. Lengthen the spine first, lifting the chest away from the thigh. Then press the ribs, the lower ribs towards on your left thigh. Draw the left hip back, the right hip forward to square, activating your hips and your legs. Take one inhale, exhale, mindfully straighten the front leg. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, mindfully straighten the front knee. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, straighten. Doesn't need to be straight. Maybe you just do a little bit. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, straighten a little bit as much as you can. Draw the right hip forward, the left hip back. Now here, once again. We stay here. Maybe your front knee is still slightly bent. I prefer you to have the front knee bent and draw the left hip back as much as you can and the right hip forward. Your stretch is going to be felt especially as we twist. Keep the right hand underneath your right shoulder on the floor. Fingertips or palm, whatever you are is fine. You can even use a block if you're practicing these not live. Lengthen the spine first. As exhale, lift the left shoulder away from the floor. Try to stack the shoulders on top of one another. Lift the left arm up. 1. Front knee can be bent or straight, but we are drawing the left hip back and the right hip forward. 2, lengthen the spine. 3, 4, 5, keep breathing. Bring the left arm down, bend the front knee. If it isn't bent already, press the palms onto the floor underneath your shoulders. Push the floor away, lift between your shoulder blades and then step back to plank. Push the floor away, feel the space between the shoulder blades. Suck the lower belly in, bring the knees onto the floor. Exhale, bend your elbows, bring the chin onto the floor. Point your toes. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Make sure your hands are shoulder wide apart, your feet are hip wide apart, your knees, of course, can be still slightly bent. You need to bring that chest back, pushing the floor away to the hands, tilting the sitting bones up, and you will feel the stretch in your hamstrings. Even if your knees are bent, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it here, and I'm drawing the heels down towards the floor. I feel it, of course, if I straighten my legs, but I still feel it if I bend my knees. Let's have here 2 more deep breaths, tilting the sitting bones up. 1, nice and deep. 2, look between the hands. And then walk or step your feet forward between the hands, lengthening the spine. Exhale, bring the chest to the thighs, of course, bend the knees if you need, and then as inhale, come all the way up. Press the palms together, look up. Exhale, somewhat tilted in. We're going to do a little extra flow. So here we're stepping the left foot back once again. This time we're stepping it a little bit farther away so that the feet are wider apart than they were before. Okay, so again, we want the left foot to be pointing slightly in, 45 degrees in, and the right foot pointing forward. Here, we want to bend the front knee. And here you have a choice. You can either bring the forearm on the thigh, or you can bring the fingertips or the palm on the outer side of your right foot. Wherever you are, either if you're here or here, what you're doing is to lift the right shoulder away from the floor. Then you're lifting the left arm up, following the line of the body, looking up to the palm. 5 breaths, suck the lower belly in. 1, bend the front knee. 2, now push the feet against the floor to engage the inner thighs. 3, 4, look up to the palm. 5, exhale, look down. Inhale, come up. Keep the front knee bent. Open the hips, bend the front knee. Arms parallel to the floor. Gaze point the right middle finger. 1, your shoulders are aligned to your pelvis. 2, you're sucking the lower belly in. 3, so we are not here, we are here. 4, 5, keep that front knee bent. Bring the left hand onto the floor. Take one inhale as you exhale. Flip your hand, palm facing up. And then reverse warrior, suck the lower belly. Feel the stretch on the right side of your chest. 2, look up to the palm if you can. 3, suck the lower belly. 4, bend the front knee even more. 5, exhale, bring both hands onto the floor at the side of your foot. Stand up to plank. Bring the knees to the floor, then the chin to the floor. Point your toes, inhale, upward facing dog. Tuck your toes down. Downward facing dog. Let's stay here 2 breaths to just rest a little bit. You can move a little bit. You can bend one knee and then the other. Move the weight towards one arm and then the other. Just play with it. See how the sensations change. Just try to tilt the sitting bones up and push the floor back at all times. We want to lengthen that spine. Look between the hands. Step your feet forward between the hands. Feet together, toes touch. Long spine as you inhale. Exhale, chest to the thighs. Inhale, come all the way up. Press the palms together, look up. Exhale, stomach sitting in. Suck the lower belly in. We're going to do the left side and then we are done. I'm sweating, I don't know if you are. So here we want to step the right foot back. Remember now the step is a little bit longer. So the feet are wider apart. We want to find an alignment heel to arch with the right foot pointing slightly in, 45 degrees in, and the left foot pointing forward. Bend the front knee. Here, you want to bring either the forearm on your thigh or the fingertips or palm on the floor on the outer side of the left foot. Wherever you are, you want to lift the right shoulder away from the floor. Lift the arm up, following the line of the body. Look up to the palm. Push the feet down against the floor to engage the inner thighs. 1. Suck the lower belly in. 2. 3, keep breathing. 4, we're almost done. 5, exhale, look down. Inhale, come up, keep the front knee bent. Warrior 2, align the shoulders to the hips. Arms parallel to the floor. Gaze point the middle finger of the left hand. 1, shoulders away from the neck. 2, bend the front knee even more. 3, push the feet against the floor. 4, squeeze everything. 5, maybe you're shaking, that's okay. Bring the right hand on the right leg. Flip your right hand so the palm faces up. As exhale, lift the hand up, suck the lower belly, look up to the palm. 1, bend the front knee. 2, tuck the tailbone under. 3, lengthen, pull that arm back. 4, 5, exhale, bring the left and the right hands onto the floor. Step back to plank. Bring the knees to the floor, chest to the floor, chaturanga. Point your toes in and upward facing dog. Tuck your toes down. Exhale, downward facing dog. And now we're going to close. So, first of all, here, just stay down dog for a few moments if you can. Here, feet hip wide apart as usual. You can move a little bit. The important is that you are trying to straighten that back, lifting the sitting bones up, drawing the chest towards the thighs. Have a nice long breath here, nice and deep. And finally, bring the knees to the floor. And sit down for a moment on the heels. So very well done. Now we're going to bring it to a close and to relax a little bit. So bring your feet forward. We're going to do an inversion here. To close it and then a little bit of a relaxation. So inversion pose. You might want to watch first. There are a few ways you can enter a shoulder sound. One that I liked when I was starting yoga was Sitting up like this with the knees bent, the hands even on the knees for a moment just to prepare. Then here, what I used to do, I used to literally throw myself back with the idea of bringing the knees towards my face and taking that momentum as the pelvis lifts to catch my lower back. So I'm going to show you. You can go forward, then throw yourself back. Catch your lower back immediately, and you are in a half shoulder stand. Try not to look to the side, not to turn your face. So I'm going to go down now, and I'm going to show you the other way to enter the same pose. Lying down onto the floor. From here, your palms, your arms are along the body, palms against the floor. Here you can bend the knees. And again, you can throw your knees back, pushing the floor away through the hands as you lift the pelvis up and take hold of the lower back. So once we are here, we're straightening the legs, entering a half shoulder stand or a full shoulder stand, which we are going to hold for 5 breaths. After 5 breaths, we're squeezing the knees. Try to keep the knees nice and straight. We're just going to hinge from the hips, bringing the feet toward the floor. Maybe you will reach here. Maybe your feet will reach the floor. If your feet don't reach the floor, keep supporting your lower back. If your feet reach the floor, clasp your hands behind and push the floor away. Then we're going to support the back once again. Suck the lower belly in. And we're going to lower down to the floor. Maybe you need bend the knees. So I'm going to do this with you. Try not to turn your head when you are in shoulder stand, okay? You're going to be fine. You're going to hear my voice. So get ready. Get into your shoulder stand any way you like. Suck the lower belly in. Point your toes, feet together, legs together. 1, suck the lower belly in. 2, squeeze your legs. 3, 4, keep engaging your legs. 5, squeeze your legs. So slowly bring the feet down towards the floor. Again, if your feet don't touch the floor, keep holding your back. If your feet touch the floor, clasp your hands behind. Push the forearms against the floor. 1, suck the lower belly in. 2, squeeze your legs. 3, point your toes. 4, strong legs. 5, if you are supporting your back, support your back first. Lift the feet away from the floor. Maybe bend your knees. Squeeze your core, squeeze the knees to chest. Slowly come down to the floor. Bring the knees to chest, hug your knees, rock side to side for a few moments. Then from here, bring the knees up just above your pelvis, your arms in a T shape or in a cactus shape. From here, take a big inhale. And as exhale, drop the knees to one side of your choice. And we're just here. Maybe you're looking up towards the ceiling, or maybe you're looking over the opposite shoulder as you drop to the knees. So opposite side where your knees are pointing. Just a few breaths here. Breathe nice and deeply. You did great. It was an intense class. Well done. After this, make sure you drink plenty of water. Inhale, bring the knees up. Bring them again, just on top of your pelvis. And then as exhale again, bring the knees, drop them to the other side. Again, you can either look up towards the ceiling or you can look opposite side as your knees. Just Just concentrate on your breath here. Can you actively lower your breath, deepen your breath, slower your breath, not lower, slower your breath. You can maybe count the breath, the in-breath, and then count the exhale. See if you can raise that number in a while. Inhale, bring the knees up. Squeeze the knees to chest one more time. And then bring yourself into Shavasana. And here you're just lying down to the floor, allowing the body to relax. Allow your feet to drop to the side. Roll the shoulders back and down. Then relax your shoulders. Your palms are facing up, your arms are along the body, a little bit away actually from the body. A slight tuck of the chin to lengthen the back of your neck. Your eyes are gently closed. And again here you can either just relax, or sometimes I like to count the inhale. So for example, I count mentally up to 4 or 5 as I inhale for 5, then I exhale maybe for 6 or 7, and I keep doing that, just concentrating on the breath, how the breath fills my lungs. I concentrate on the air through my nostrils, through my throat, both ways, both in and out. And after a while, maybe your inhale raises to 6, your exhale raises to 8. Just like that, without any expectation. Just consciously breathing. Or maybe you're just lying down there, closing your eyes. Just concentrating on the triangle at the base of your nose, not counting, just relaxing. You're still here, just relaxing in Shavasana. A few extra moments. And finally, as you bring your awareness back to your heart center, start making small movements with your hands and feet, wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers. Maybe rotating your wrists and ankles, whatever feels good to you. Now when you feel ready, take a deep stretch in a way that is comfortable to you. Stretching the whole body, pointing your toes, really stretching everything, squeezing everything, lengthening your body. And then relax. And again, when you're ready, roll over. Maybe your right side. If you roll over your left side, it's okay, it's the same. And then from here, whenever you feel ready, you can come up into a seated position, maybe a cross-legged position. If you want, you can stay here for a bit with your hands on the knees. Maybe you can take your Jambu Mudra by connecting the index finger with your thumb, placing the back of your hands on the knees, elbows straight, rolling the shoulders back and down, engaging your core, a slight tuck of the chin, just here breathing in and out. Thank you for practicing with me, either live or whenever you're doing this class. Any question, ask me, maybe comment underneath the video or contact Queen's Sport, or you might find me on Instagram, wherever you like. Feel free to ask me any questions at all. Namaste, have a lovely day, and again,